The NBA world just sent a shockwave straight into Boston, and every Celtics fan needs to hear this before the season tips off. A former front office insider believes the Celtics will have to defy the numbers to surprise the league, and his prediction is daring enough to make even the most confident supporter stop and wonder what is really coming. Yet hidden inside this bold forecast is a path that could turn doubt into one of the most thrilling redemption stories in franchise history. Before we dive deep into this unfolding drama, take a second to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and smash that hype button so you do not miss a single twist in what could be the most unpredictable Celtics season in years. Now here is the story that has the league buzzing. John Hollinger, once a decision-maker inside an NBA front office and now a sharp voice at The Athletic, looked at Boston's upcoming campaign and said that the team will need everything to break perfectly to reach 42.5 wins. He is not talking about a small step down. He is saying that for Boston to cross that line, a lot of things have to align in ways that the cold numbers do not expect. This is not just another outside opinion. It comes from a man who once built rosters and understands how fragile a season can be. Why does his call create so much curiosity? Because it lands in a year when the Celtics have quietly reloaded in a way that outsiders cannot fully measure. Key veterans like Al Horford, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis are gone, but departures open doors for growth and for surprise. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and Sam Hauser remain as champions with scars and motivation. Anthony Simons arrives with scoring power that few defenses can predict. Neemias waits for a chance to anchor the paint with the hunger of a player who knows that opportunity is priceless. There is even more intrigue in the coaching staff, where Joe Mazzulla now faces the challenge of molding a younger, faster, and hungrier group. The Eastern Conference itself feeds the suspense. On paper, it is weaker than in past seasons. Outside of New York, Cleveland, Orlando, and perhaps Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo, the field is filled with teams that have potential but no guarantees. That creates a battlefield where a well-prepared Boston squad can rack up wins against opponents that might underestimate a team in transition. A betting line of 42.5 victories may look safe to statisticians, but it could become a trap for anyone who overlooks the Celtics' ability to punish mediocrity. Consider the questions that fuel this mystery. Can Jaylen Brown embrace the full weight of being the first option and turn that responsibility into nightly dominance? Will Derek White and Peyton Pritchard elevate their offensive creativity to levels that stretch opposing defenses? Can Anthony Simons find instant chemistry and become the unexpected engine of scoring runs that flip games in the fourth quarter? Will Neemias seize the starting center role and surprise the league with his physical presence? Every positive answer pushes Boston closer to a win total that analysts call unlikely, and if several of those answers hit, at once the ceiling could soar past 50 wins. Even the draft pick situation adds intrigue. Boston owns its first-round selection, which means flexibility without the pressure to tank. That freedom allows management to chase trades if the right piece appears, but it also removes any excuse to give away games. The team can compete with full energy, knowing that every victory strengthens the culture and every loss teaches lessons for the future. So when a respected former executive places a cautious bet on the under, he is not exposing weakness. He is setting the stage for a season where Boston can rewrite the script. The Celtics enter this campaign with lower outside expectations, but that lack of external pressure is exactly what can ignite a group built on pride, resilience, and the taste of a recent championship. Fans should not fear the number 42.5. They should embrace the challenge, because a roster with hungry veterans, rising young talent, and a conference full of vulnerable opponents might transform doubt into a powerful new chapter in the history of Boston basketball. The Celtics enter this season with the outside world expecting turbulence, yet inside the locker room there is a quiet belief that the next breakout star may already be wearing green and white. Lower expectations from national voices only sharpen the hunger of a roster built to surprise, and one name keeps surfacing in conversations that start with caution and end with excitement. Neemias, a 26-year-old center from Portugal, stands at the center of a storyline that could flip the entire narrative of Boston basketball in the year 2026. Before we dive into why Quetta could become the heartbeat of this team, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the hype button so you stay locked in as we follow every twist of this unexpected journey. Quetta's path to this moment has been anything but easy. He spent countless hours refining his game in the G League with the Maine Celtics, sharpening footwork, timing, and defensive instincts until he simply outgrew that level of competition. His patience has turned into power. Over the summer, he carried the flag of Portugal into the Eurobasket tournament and delivered a historic victory, the first for his country since 2007, while posting a jaw-dropping stat line of 23 points, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 2 steals on 11 of 15 shooting. Those numbers are not empty exhibition stats. They are a warning shot to every team that still underestimates what he can do when given real minutes. Kayla Burton of NBC Sports Boston looked at that combination of development and opportunity and predicted on the Garden Report podcast that Quetta will be the most improved player on the Celtics this season. It is a bold claim, but the context makes it more than wishful thinking. Boston's frontcourt has been reshaped by departures, leaving a starting center position wide open for the first time in years. Luka Garza may offer competition, yet insiders already describe the job as Quetta's to lose. His career production when stretched to 36 minutes projects to nearly 14 points and more than 10 rebounds per night, a nightly double-double pace that would instantly change the way opponents' game plan against Boston. This is where the curiosity deepens. Quetta is not just filling a gap, he is redefining the position for a Celtics team that once relied on older veterans to anchor the paint. His combination of length, mobility, and soft touch at the rim gives coach Joe Mazzulla a weapon that can run the floor with Jaylen Brown and Anthony Simons while still protecting the basket against the East's best scorers. Imagine a young center capable of switching onto guards, erasing drives, and then sprinting for alley-oops from Derek White or Peyton Pritchard. That style does not simply replace what was lost. It opens a new era of pace and pressure that fits perfectly with a league trending towards speed and versatility. The Eastern Conference landscape only adds fuel to this opportunity. With only a handful of true contenders such as New York, Cleveland, Orlando, and Milwaukee, there is space for an aggressive Boston squad to rack up wins by punishing teams that are still searching for identity. Every rebound Quetta controls, and every block he delivers moves the Celtics closer to defying the over-under line of 42.5 victories that analysts like John Hollinger have placed as a ceiling. If Quetta emerges as a nightly double-double force, that ceiling could quickly become a floor. Quetta's rise also carries a deeper meaning for Celtics fans. It shows that development and patience still matter in an era obsessed with instant superstars. Boston owns its first-round pick this season, giving management flexibility without the temptation to lose on purpose, and a breakout from a homegrown player like Quetta reinforces the culture of building from within. It is the kind of story that can transform a so-called gap year into the foundation of the next championship run. So while outsiders debate win totals and question how Boston will survive a season of change, the real drama is unfolding in the paint where Neemias Quetta prepares to seize a role that could rewrite the future. His journey from G League grinder to potential franchise centerpiece is more than a feel-good subplot. It is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful answers come from places the rest of the league is not watching. Celtics fans should not fear this transition. They should embrace the thrill of watching a new hero rise in the heart of Boston. The last wave of Boston Celtics news ended with a storm of speculation, and it only set the stage for something even more dramatic. Now, the whispers around the league are pointing to a storyline that could redefine the identity of the team before the new season even begins. The name at the center of it all is Al Horford, a veteran presence whose calm leadership and championship mentality have helped hold the locker room together through years of triumph and tension. Reports now indicate that Horford is weighing options outside Boston and could soon sign with another franchise, a possibility that sends shockwaves through the organization and leaves the entire Eastern Conference wondering what comes next. His future is not just about a contract negotiation. It is a symbol of how the Celtics plan to evolve in a league where every move can alter the balance of power. Inside league circles, executives are already debating the ripple effects of a potential Horford departure. If Boston chooses to move forward without their most experienced big man, the front office will need to reimagine its rotation and may be forced into a trade that few saw coming. Sources have hinted that a high-profile shooter on the roster has drawn interest from rival teams, creating a scenario where one bold transaction could reshape the lineup and open space for a new era of Celtics basketball. These conversations are happening as training camp edges closer with opening night, less than 4 weeks away, leaving fans to wonder whether President Brad Stevens is quietly preparing a major pivot that could catch the league off guard. The stakes could not be higher because Horford's decision is not happening in a vacuum. Boston is entering a season where the pressure to repeat as contenders is immense and the margin for error is razor thin. Every choice, from minutes allocation to salary cap strategy, carries weight. A veteran departure of this magnitude would test the chemistry of a roster that has already endured key changes over the past summer. Yet within that uncertainty lies a spark of hope. Losing a familiar face often forces a team to unlock hidden potential, and the Celtics have a history of turning transition periods into championship opportunities. Financial factors only deepen the intrigue. Horford's next deal, expected to be worth several $1 million over multiple seasons, will influence not only Boston's payroll flexibility, but also the trade market across the conference. If he signs elsewhere, the Celtics could gain maneuvering room to chase another frontcourt piece, or even a surprise name that has not yet surfaced in public reports. League insiders describe Stevens as patient but aggressive, a strategist who waits for the perfect moment to strike. That means a Horford exit could be the first domino in a sequence that redefines the team's power structure before the calendar even reaches the new year. Fans should not mistake this uncertainty for decline. The Celtics remain one of the deepest and most talented rosters in basketball, and a potential trade shakeup could actually strengthen their championship window. Younger players are ready to seize larger roles, and the front office has a track record of extracting maximum value from unexpected opportunities. While the idea of watching a beloved veteran leave is emotional, it also opens the door to a fresh injection of energy and versatility, the very qualities that fuel long playoff runs. As the countdown to opening night continues, every training session and preseason game will be watched with heightened attention. Will Horford surprise everyone by staying, or will Boston's brain trust execute a bold move that transforms the lineup overnight? Either outcome keeps the Celtics firmly in the conversation as a team capable of rewriting the story of the season. For a franchise defined by resilience and ambition, this moment is less a farewell and more a challenge, a chance to prove once again that Boston thrives when the stakes are highest. The last wave of Boston Celtics rumors ended with Al Horford's uncertain future and the possibility of a major trade shakeup, but that cliffhanger now opens the door to an even more electrifying twist. Just as fans were bracing for the emotional weight of losing a franchise pillar, a new name has surfaced that could completely shift the conversation. Deep inside the practice facility, whispers are growing louder about a player who might help Boston fill the massive defensive void left by Kristaps Porzingis. That player is Josh Minott, a 22-year-old forward whose combination of length, timing, and explosive athleticism has quietly convinced league insiders that he might be the most underrated signing of the entire summer. Porzingis, traded away in a deal that reshaped the roster and freed valuable cap space, left behind a 7'3" shadow that few believed could be replaced in the short term. His unique ability to protect the rim as a roaming shot blocker gave Boston a strategic edge against Eastern Conference rivals like Philadelphia and Milwaukee. Yet in a move that has both scouts and rival executives talking, the Celtics may have found a blueprint in Minott to replicate key pieces of that defensive scheme. During his limited minutes in Minnesota, opponents shot nearly 9% worse at the rim when he was on the floor, an elite figure that places him in the highest percentile among forwards across the league. Those numbers are not a fluke, they are a signal that Minott's instincts and timing can translate into real impact on the parquet. What makes this possibility so fascinating is not just the numbers, but the context. Minott learned to roam off the ball next to Rudy Gobert, one of the best interior defenders of this era, giving him invaluable experience in a system where anticipation and quick rotations are everything. Boston thrived in recent years by using Porzingis and Robert Williams as free safeties, letting Al Horford battle elite big men, while a second defender swooped in to erase mistakes. With Robert Williams gone for 2 seasons and Porzingis now wearing another jersey, the Celtics seem destined to abandon that style. Instead, Minott gives head coach Joe Mazzulla a chance to resurrect it with a younger, more agile weapon who is hungry to prove he belongs. This is not merely about plugging a defensive hole. Minott's arrival represents a deeper layer of strategy from President Brad Stevens, who has shown a talent for uncovering undervalued assets. Signing a player with Minott's upside on a modest contract worth only a few $1 million allows Boston to remain financially flexible while preserving the option for a blockbuster trade if the right star becomes available. Is the kind of move that championship organizations make quietly before the rest of the league realizes how dangerous it is. Of course, there are questions. Minott has yet to establish himself as a consistent three-point shooter, a skill that determines minutes in Mazzulla's spacing-heavy offense. To secure a permanent role, he will need to carve out value with relentless energy, cutting without the ball, screening for scorers, and attacking the offensive glass. But those limitations come with a silver lining. By focusing on defense first, Minott can impact games immediately while developing his shot away from the spotlight, a path that has worked for other young Celtics who blossomed into key playoff contributors. The beauty of this situation lies in its unpredictability. Fans know what Horford brings and what Porzingis once provided, but nobody can say with certainty how high Minott's ceiling might be. That mystery fuels hope. Imagine a season where a player barely mentioned in summer headlines emerges as a defensive force, blocking shots in crunch time at TD Garden and helping Boston chase banner number 18. The Celtics have built a reputation on finding ways to stay ahead of the curve, and Minott's quiet arrival might be the next great example. This is the kind of storyline that makes an entire fan base lean forward with anticipation. A veteran legend could depart, a promising newcomer could rise, and a team already chasing history could become even more dangerous. If you believe in destiny and in the magic of Boston basketball, now is the time to lock in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and smash the hype button so you do not miss a single update as the next chapter of Celtics greatness unfolds.